So the other day I was asked by a new client if I teach the plank exercise, and my first thought was it's not called the plank. So in Pilates it's called leg pull front and leg pull back, because you can either do it on your hands facing the floor or facing the ceiling on your hands. Really it's only called the plank in like other fitness classes, and that's just a minor detail, but I don't like the word plank. Just it's very stiff and rigid, and even though you're trying to keep your body like that in this position, in this exercise, it's not a plank. Okay, so I'm not going to split hairs over it. It's or maybe I am. Anyway, let's not call it the plank. I don't like that word. Yeah, now you're going to see a message going, I don't care. So anyway, the reason why I don't include it in every single class that I teach, because I think it's become, through the last few years, it's become like known as the best core exercise to do. It's the plank. It's like, it's not really the best core exercise to do. It's plenty, because the core is not just this, it's the whole body. If you're practicing leg pull front or leg pull back or the plank in other exercise fitness classes, then often what I see is the neck taking over, the jaw tightening up, the breath being held, the shoulders going up, the back dropping down, the ribs flaring forward, and a lot of tension in the body, a lot of tightness. So it becomes counterintuitive to actually practice it. So it's an intermediate to an advanced exercise. And so a lot of people will try and jump in and do this exercise straight away because they think, I don't want to get a strong core, and will practice it at the expense or at the cost of shoulders and neck and jaw and breath and back. And it's not worth it, because there are so many other exercises that lead up to earning your right to do this exercise. Not your right, but your body's right. So it's like, my partner's a mountain guide, and we often talk about the summit is only halfway there. It's only halfway. It's not about the summit. So the same with the plank or the leg pull pro, leg pull front, leg pull back. It's what you're doing, the stages that you're taking to get there. Okay, so it's about your journey. It's about your stages that you're going to do to get there. And there are many Pilates exercise in the sequence that how Joseph Pilates taught his mat work that need to be practiced and felt and understood throughout the body before the leg pull front is actually introduced into your own practice. So let's just have a little look at it and we'll see what I'm trying to talk about here. So let's take these off, because I'll just start sliding around. The socks off. Socks, nothing else is coming off, just the socks. So here we go. This is the one I'm talking about. Can you see? There we go. Tucking the toes under, and you're holding the most exercise. I mean, before I became a Pilates instructor, I went to exercise classes, and the idea was to hold the plank exercise for 5 to 8 minutes. It's like, yeah, okay. It's kind of boring as well, isn't it? Why do you want to be rigid for 5 to 8 minutes like that? It's really your back and your neck and your shoulders, unless you are super advanced. But then if you're super advanced and you know a lot about the body and about the abdominals and your obliques and your pelvic floor and your breathing and your neck, if you understand the whole mechanics of how it all works, then you're probably quite well versed into knowing that there's not a lot of benefit in holding it for that amount of time. There's plenty of other exercises to do that work the core as we see it in the health and fitness industry, where the core is holding it all in here. And really it's not all about that. It's about being able to move with fluidity, without tightening up or bracing, without feeling that you're tight and tense anywhere else. It's about knowing that you can have the alignment without creating too much effort. So one of the things that I like to talk about in class is where can you actually do a movement without creating too much effort, without feeling that you are having to steal strength from another part of the body because the area that you're trying to strengthen doesn't have it, or not enough of it. So the things that can go wrong in the plank, in the leg pull front, or leg pull prone, leg pull back, are these. This happens quite a lot. This happens quite a lot. The head goes up, or even the head drops and the bum goes up, or the head drops down and your shoulders go up, and the fingers tighten up and the knees drop, or the bum goes up here and the head lifts and the knees drop and the head and the pelvis twists, because part of the movement is to come forward onto your toes and go back, lift and lower the leg, come forward, go back, come forward, go back. And trying to do that, the shoulders can lift and the back can drop, which causes a lot of issues here in the hinging of the thoracic spine, where it meets your lumbar spine, which means that the ribs flare forward. So yeah, you can go onto your elbows, so you can take the straighten out of your wrists, and you can do it on your elbows. Or you can come down to your knees and you can do the plank or the leg pull front on your knees. So it's very easy to call it the plank because it's just become part of, the word has become quite common in fitness industry. I think I remember years ago when Chris Evans was on Radio 2 and he brought somebody in to teach him the plank in the studio. Come, let's do the plank. It's the strongest, it's the best core exercise, isn't it? And the guy was going, yeah, it's brilliant. Come on, let's go down and let's hold it. And it was only after a few seconds that Chris was like, oh, why? I want to hold it longer. Come on, even hold it longer. And it's like, really? Your nervous system then goes into that fight, flight or freeze mode, and your adrenaline starts, cortisol starts getting released from your adrenal glands. And even though that's not a bad thing, it is if you try and maintain by holding your breath or clenching your jaw, and if you're not in an alignment with your spine, your neck and your shoulders. And I'm sure that as many physios will tell you that go and do Pilates is good for you, but also I know a few physios that will tell you don't go and do Pilates, it's not good for you, because there are teachers out there that will teach certain exercises just because they want the no pain, no gain, the because there are some people that like that, and that's okay. If there's some people that like to exercise like that, they want the burn and they want the tightness and they want the tension, but know that that comes at a cost as well. Eventually you'll be seeing physios and people like that to try and sort your back out and sort your neck out, and of course sort out your sciatica and your piriformis syndrome and your the glutes that's gone AWOL, and the tight upper shoulders and weak mid-back and your neck pain. So that is why I don't always teach leg pull prone and leg pull front, especially if it's somebody that I don't know, a new client who's just come to the class and can't really do single leg stretch or double leg stretch or side kick well because they keep lifting their ribs, or side kick kneeling, lifting and lowering the leg. If you can't do the side kick kneeling, which is the exercise that's taught before leg pull front, then I'm not going to teach you leg pull front. Okay, plank in other words, and that's why I don't always teach it in the session, because I see it can be an issue. If you're actually coming for one-to-one, it's different because it's hands-on and I can see what you're doing and I can hold it and do things with your body and touch your rib cage. And if it's in a big Zoom session, not always easy to correct, because I see things going wrong, and I see things going wrong as well on other people's sessions that I join in Zoom and things like that, and I don't want to go for the burn. It's not the way I teach. I think that we should be, especially in these times where a lot of people are worried and stressed about what's going to happen with the pandemic. We should be having more awareness of our bodies and how we move and how we hold ourselves and our breathing and our jaw and our tension in our neck or our shoulders, and being more observant and curious about our bodies rather than feeling that we must do more. So it's not about the summit, okay? It's about the steps that you are taking to get there. You're not going to get there unless you learn how to put one foot in front of the other, and if you can actually pull with that hand, and if you can reach with that hand, and if you can lengthen through, and can you push off with that foot, yeah, that's what I wanted to say. I'm scratching away now about the plank. Happy practicing. If you're going to practice the plank, do it safely and have an awareness. Only hold it for a few seconds, so you're maintaining that awareness of your breathing, of your rib cage placement, of your shoulders and of your head.